1, and now he's showing the world how to do it in the FIA World Endurance Championship. It was, in fact, the 18 car that got down into turn 1 first, with the 17 car following. And if you saw the 2 Audis and the 2 Toyotas, they got very close through 1 and 2, but it was, in fact, line astern behind. The first car in trouble was this car, the pole-sitting car in GT Pro, and that was Gianmaria Bruni. He did get going again, didn't he, Mark?
Yep, but the 18 car, which has started from pole, then showing all the early pace until they started to have problems, as you heard from Mark himself saying the sister car having a fuel sensor problem, which meant they were using too much fuel, and they got 3 lots of penalties for that. Nonetheless, still squabbling amongst themselves.
Yeah, there was class battles and inter-team rivalry throughout all of those class battles, and the 18 car having to fight really hard after its woes in the pit lane. 3 more pit stops than the sister car, and that's what really separated the two come the checkered flag. This was one of the stop-and-go penalties. They had a 30-second one and a 60-second one, and that was because they were burning too much fuel.
And that always started to put the race and the rest of the podium into the hands of Audi. We had a lot of problems on the track, not only with gravel, but wings coming off. And then when the yellow safety car periods came out, the virtual safety car periods, cars running into each other. Yeah,
or the full course yellows, as they're known in the FIA World Endurance Championship. James Collado didn't like the look of what he saw, and, well, he might not. And quite rightfully so, because that was the difference between a podium position behind the lead Porsche.
And finally we got the greens that took us right to the end, and it was Porsche all the way. Porsche number 18 fighting its way back through into second place, coming back from all those penalties. But my goodness, he did make hard work for himself.
Yeah, well, he has to. This is the Nürburgring. Passing doesn't come easy, and those Audi drivers are not going to give anything to the 18 Porsche, and that's what we like about the FIA World Endurance Championship. There's close racing, and they get their knees and elbows out, as I said earlier. Look at this, the 18 car in a Audi sandwich, and it was Lotterer leading that ahead of Degrassi. Degrassi did get past Lotterer, tried to chase after the Porsche. It didn't work out that way, and those 2 Audis swapped positions back as the race unfolded.
Yeah, but then eventually the 18 car managed to insinuate itself back into second place, and big battles behind. Also Porsche leading in GT Pro, which that's
worth pointing out. Earl Bamber, Nico Hulkenberg in third or second. Nick Tandy, Earl Bamber, Nico Hulkenberg in second. Now they are here. Nico Hulkenberg's in the hospitality. Earl Bamber's in a GT Pro-Am car. Nick Tandy's leading in the KCMG car. It's a bit confusing, that, isn't it?
Very much so. So look at this, the long shadows here in the Eifel Mountains now, high above the Rhine Valley, down way down below, and Cologne not that far from here. And most of the front-running teams based around this area. Porsche at Weissach, of course, near Stuttgart. We've got Toyota at Cologne, and we've got Audi at Ingolstadt. All those teams calling this very much their local race. In fact, we noticed there were 8 teams and 12 drivers from here.
Front slightly. The vibration on the front left.
Vibration on the front left, that is Mark Webber. When you're leading, you start hearing all kinds of different things. I'm not doubting the fact that he's got a vibration on the front left, but with 4 minutes left on the clock, that's not what the pit crew want to hear, and that's not, well, I say the pit crew, the pit wall want to hear, and that's not what Mark Webber wants to be feeling. But you do start to feel all kinds of different things, and the Audi crew would have heard that. And will that lead to anything? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, he's got a 2-lap lead. He can afford to back off a little bit if he is that worried. He can even afford to make a stop and get a tyre change. They're not going to, I don't think, with 3.5 minutes left. Just live with it, Mark.
Which famous Formula 1 driver lost the Grand Prix at the Nürburgring when their front tyre exploded with a few laps to go down at turn 1. So if you're on Twitter, I am at Tom Gamer. You can tweet in and tell me the answer. A little quiz for you there. But what I will say, going back to my point about Tandy, Bamber and Hulkenberg, the reason that is because Porsche ran 3 cars at Le Mans. and they only run 2 cars in the FIA World Endurance Championship as a whole. Le Mans being the blue ribbon event means that they have extra resource for that, and that is why those drivers are essentially with the double points so high in the championship, but won't be competing in a Porsche for the rest of the year for an LMP1 class car.
Yeah, so Mark Webber then backed up by Brendan Hartley. Timo Bernhardt heading for what looks like is going to be his first win in his 2nd season with Porsche. We had a Formula 1 driver winning Le Mans just 10 weeks ago, Nico Hülkenberg. It looks like an ex-Formula 1 driver, Mark Webber, and a man who's forever associated with Red Bull and Jaguar, looking like he is going to finally pull off his maiden win driving for Porsche. Big moment for him, and of course for Porsche, because it is a lot of bragging rights in that.
Yep, indeed. Well done to Mark Lovas and Rob Shipley, the first to get their answer in. It was, in fact, Kimi Raikkonen, and yes, I do know it didn't actually explode. The vibration meant the suspension collapsed. So, but you know what I was saying. You get the gist of it. 2 minutes left on the clock here, and it's looking very good for that car on screen. The Porsche team man, the car Richard Leeds, that is leading comfortably in GTE Pro.
Well, if they're going to pull off the double, this is the place to do it, the Nürburgring, to win outright and to win in GT Pro. Of course, we only have one Porsche running in AM, and that's the Pat Dempsey Proton car, which unfortunately isn't going to repeat its 2nd place at Le Mans. It looked very good earlier today when it started off in 3rd place, got itself into the lead with Pat Long on board. And by the way, congratulations to Pat on the birth of his daughter just a few weeks ago. Her name's Leighton, so proud daddy there. But that car at the moment in 4th place, and it looks like that's where they're going to stay.
Well, it's the extra stop for them, wasn't it? They've changed their strategy and it hasn't really worked out for them. So the extra stop for the Proton Racing Dempsey car. I think that was contact, wasn't it?
Yep.
They had contact, didn't they? And without that, they would have been right there, because those drivers have driven very well, especially Pat Long, as he does so often.
So Mark Webber then, just one more lap to go after this. 59 seconds, 55 on the clock now as he goes through the final turn for the last time. Comes powering, no, it's down at...
Yeah, that's not the final turn.
So no, that's up at the hill. Vorsteiner, and is just going through the Advan Bogen, as they call it now, braking hard for the NGK chicane from close to 190 miles an hour.
I have to say, it was using all the road and a bit more through turn 11, the Vorsteiner curve.
It's all that vibration at the front, isn't it? That's what's causing it, as he told us. But it doesn't seem to be slowing him down. He's still passing cars, and there, just in front of him, there is the 47 car. That's the KCMG car. What a great drive by Nick Tandy as well, of course, teammate to Mark Webber just 10 weeks ago at Le Mans.
Well, Nick Tandy just can't stop winning, can he?
Won last weekend in Virginia with Pat Pile. The two of them took their factory-supported Porsche to the Tudor Sports Car Championship win there at Virginia Park.
Yeah, if I was a team boss, I'd be trying to get him in the car. He's a good omen. And the reason he's a good omen is he's a world-class driver. It's so good to see a Brit get recognised, come up through the ranks. He didn't have a lot of money. He did it through ability, hard work, diligent preparation, and a lot of networking. And he's finally been rewarded by a manufacturer like Porsche. And all credit to Nick Tandy. And Mark Webber now is going to have a massive smile on his face, because we're on the final lap, and as we said earlier, he has not won for Porsche yet.
This is going to be it, though. We just saw a shot of his engineer Kyle Wilson-Clark in the pits, and a big moment for Kyle as well, having moved not that long ago from Audi. Eduardo Freitas
Don't slow down on start finish.
just telling everyone what to do at the end of the race. Let's get it over with first, Eduardo. Here we are, coming through the final corner for the last time.
I'll tell you what, Mark Webber has been class, so have all his teammates. They are well-deserved winners here. Timo Bernhardt, Brendan Hartley in the 17 class car, celebrate together with everyone in the Porsche pits.
Really deserve that, thank you. Andreas, the car 17, all drivers, team, presentation job. big bounty after the backup. Team picture 7:30.
Olaf Manti there, who runs the GT side of Porsche, and a win for them at home. This is really, really important, Tom. Nürburgring, Porsche take not only the LMP1 win, but the GT Pro as well.
Yeah, Porsche really showing their ability in GT Pro, and with the balance of performance after Le Mans, they've had that 15-kilo weight taken out of the car, and it's really helped them, hasn't it? And I'm sure the others will sort of bemoan that ever so slightly, but the reason they've been top of the tree is because they've done a better job and they've stayed out of trouble. Apart from Gianmaria Bruni, who had the bad luck, the others have just not quite matched the performance of those two Manthey Porsches.
So Nick Tandy doing a great job there, supporting Richard Howson, Howson and Bradley, and Matt Howson, Richard Bradley. Of course, they themselves Le Mans winners this year. And Tandy, the ideal man to come and bring them to the victory here at the Nürburgring.
Matt Howson, another Brit, doing a great job in the FIA World Endurance Championship.
So Richard Leeds repeats his win here of 2009, in the last time the 1,000 kilometres was held as a sports car race. He and Mark Lieb took their Felbermeyer car to the GT2 win there. They do it again here this afternoon in GT Pro, and we're just waiting to see then the last. And here we are. Here is Victor Shekhar still on board that car. He shares with Alexander Basov and the super talented Alessandro Bertolini, the man who's been giving him all those poles and wins.
So the 7 Audi has taken back 3rd place. So was De Grassi allowed through to try and catch Mark Lieb? He didn't manage to do it, so he gave the place back to Andrea Lotterer. That's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't see why that is. So why has Andrea Lotterer got that place back? I think De Grassi let him back through, or has De Grassi made a mistake? But as it stands, that means Loic Duval, Lucas De Grassi and Oliver Jarvis don't have their first podium. And was Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich going over to them on the pit wall and saying, guys, you have to give that place back?
Yeah,
I don't know. There's some internal politics there at Audi.
They need the points, Audi, to keep the Drivers' Championship alive. And that, I mean, they are leading it anyway, even if they finish 4th. But every point they can get counts now for the rest of the season.
So, yeah, that is, for me, team orders, because those drivers are leading the championship. So that's why Loic Duval, De Grassi and Oliver Jarvis were looking so glum on the pit wall.
Well, let's see if we've got a happy Mark Webber this time. Last year, end of the season, Interlagos in Brazil, Mark Webber leading the race. Car had a huge accident, broke in half, and that was the end of his hopes for his first win. He's got it here this afternoon at the Nürburgring.
Well, he's a class act, isn't he, Mark Webber? He's been a class act in everything from 3,000.